Hi everyone, welcome to the Cyberspace Cowboys page. My name is Jack and I'll be here to help you pull that trigger on your decision to move. I'll be providing you with tips for coming to the Philippines. Please click on those like and subscribe buttons as well as the notification bell so that you don't miss a single video. Today's topic is what you need to do before you come to the Philippines. First thing you need to do is to set your budget. Whether you're coming here for a vacation, which I would recommend before you do move here. The second is to have a budget for your daily expenses. First budget would be your overall budget. Cost of your tickets, cost of your accommodations, vehicle rental, travel around the cities in the Philippines or other places that you want to visit. Those I would do as much as possible by credit card. The reason being is then you will have a handle on all those. They'll all be paid for. You won't have to worry about that. All you'll need to do is walk into the hotel, walk into the airport, walk up to the car rental agency, and everything's taken care of. The reason I say that is in a lot of countries, cash is king. And you don't want to be carrying around a lot of cash or rushing over to an ATM or trying to find money somewhere, going to money lenders or carrying a large amount of your own cash on you. So pay for as much as you can up front when you're making your reservations. Buy your airline ticket. Set a daily spending limit. Bring cash, debit card, and at least one credit card with you. If you're coming to the Philippines, there are certain limits that you need to know about. It is illegal to bring in more than 50,000 Philippine pesos. You bring in more than that, they may confiscate it and may not allow you to enter the country. Not likely that they're going to really check, but I wouldn't risk it. Just bring in 50,000, that's almost $800 US, actually more than $800 US, so that should be more than enough to get you going. You cannot bring in the cash equivalent of more than $10,000 US. So you hear a lot of expats talking to you about bringing in $100 bills. You can bring those. I don't necessarily recommend it, but it is a cheaper way to bring that in. Make sure the $100 bills are brand new, don't have any damage to them whatsoever. They're crisp, they're starched, they're ironed, and they're flat. Get a stack of them and put them in a safe. I'd wrap them up and put them in a safe place because those are the only ones the money lenders will really take and give you the best rate of exchange for. That said, I wouldn't recommend bringing more than a couple $1,000 with you in cash. Figure out your daily budget by the total number of days you're going to be here, and then divide up that budget by those days, and you'll have your daily allowance. Mine, when I first came out here in November of last year, was around 3,600 pesos a day. And I kept to that fairly well. And that's vacation money. Living here is a lot lower. But vacation money, yes, you're going to want to have a very generous daily budget for yourself, going out to eat, visiting places, paying entry fees, taxi cabs, drinks, food, etc. So all of those things. Stick to your budget. Take only that amount with you and stick to that amount. When you see your pocketbook getting a little low, that's time to go back to the hotel. And if you can stay under your budget for the first 2/3 of your trip, then you can splurge on the last few days or the last week of your trip and maybe go to some place that you really, really want to see, but it's a little on the expensive side. Don't do that up front, because then you'll be heading to the bank and pulling out more money and completely blowing your budget. So make that up ahead of time. Be frugal the first couple weeks and then go crazy the last week. Just don't go so crazy that you spend everything and then have to go and use credit cards. Use your debit card to withdraw cash if you're not comfortable bringing a large amount of money. You can go to just about any ATM here in the city, and you can pull out up to 10,000 pesos per transaction. It's probably 20,000 peso limit per day per bank. I can't think of a reason that you would need more than that. I honestly can't, unless you're a gambler. And if that's the case, I can't help you there because I'm not a gambler. But 10,000 pesos a day, that's almost $200 you're spending per day in U.S. currency. You're not going to go through that unless you're going absolutely bonkers and throwing money at all the ladies and throwing tips everywhere. The bad part about going to the ATM machine is they have that withdrawal limit, and they may charge you up to 10% in transfer and exchange fees. So be aware of that. Watch that page that pops up that says, do you really want to do this? And you will see they will charge you more than the money changers will for $1 peso. And then they'll charge you anywhere from 5 to 8.5%, along with a 250 peso or $5 transaction fee. So they can hit you up for a good amount of money. There is a less expensive way to do that. The least expensive, obviously, is bringing your own cash, but then you have to worry about keeping that cash safe. The less expensive way to do that is to use a money transfer app like Wise, Western Union, Remitly, and there are others out there, about a dozen of them. And you can also open a bank with a Filipino bank, open a bank account with a Filipino bank in the U.S., get a debit card from them, and come over here, like with BDO, or which is Banco de Oro, which is out of Cagayan de Oro, Mindanao, BPI. In major cities, they have branches. You can open up a bank account with them, put money in there, and use their debit card. But you can go through Western Union, Remitly, Wise, and basically go on your phone, say that I want to send, $1,000 to myself, and then you go to Cebuana or La Julia out here. They're pawn shops, is what they say they are. They're actually money exchanges. They charge you $5 and give you a little bit less for your money as far as an exchange rate, but it'll tell you right on the app what the exchange rate's going to be and the fee for sending the money. If you have a bank account here, you can have it sent directly into that account, and there's no $3, $4, $5 fee for sending your money. Then you can use your ATM card your local ATM card to access that. Use the credit card only in a dire emergency, because in the Philippines, like I said, cash is king. You can go to the shopping malls and you can make purchases there, but I wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend doing everything on the internet ahead of time and paying for it via credit card so that you know how much you're spending on all of that. Also, buy everything early. Buy your airline ticket early. 3 months in advance is usually the cheapest way to buy it. September is the cheapest month to fly to the Philippines. December and January are the most expensive because you have Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Simulog. And that's from the end of November to about the middle of January. You will pay a premium for airline tickets, as well as I can almost guarantee you, you will not get a hotel during that time. Check for other festivals and holidays to make sure hotels will be available. I would buy your tickets directly from the airline and the hotel in the event that you have to cancel, or in the event that the airline cancels. It is much easier to go directly through the airline and get a new flight or have them schedule you with another airline than to have to go through a third party who may or may not be there when this happens. So do that. It avoids dealing with the middleman. Also, when you buy airline tickets, don't go for the cheapest seats. You'll be sitting like this for 21 hours. And worse, you may end up in the middle seat. You don't want that. Don't cheap out on the seats. Go for, at minimum, economy plus. The seats are a little bit wider. You have a little bit more leg room. If you can afford it, look for half-price business class tickets. There are several websites out there that will offer those. They offer a discount. Business class tickets to the Philippines will run about $6,000, but you can get them for $3,000. Believe me, it's worth it. 21 hours in the air is no fun. I'll repeat that. 21 hours in the air is no fun. You want to have room to stretch out a little bit. In business class, you're only too wide. So you don't have a middle seat where you're penned in. On some airlines with the Economy Plus and the business class, you can choose your seats. So if you want a window seat, I don't know why you'd want one. You don't see anything but water for 90% of the trip. But if you really want one, you can get one of those. I prefer the aisle seat because I have one bad foot, and I can stick that out in the aisle. I can stretch out into the aisle. I can get up and go to the bathroom whenever I need to. So I'd recommend an aisle seat. Download the airline app that you're flying on so that they can notify you, especially if you live away from the airport, that they can notify you of any cancellations in flights. Fly the Asian airline companies. Don't fly domestic. I made the mistake on my second trip out here. I flew domestic. I flew business class. It was comfortable. I flew on Delta. Went from Chicago to Detroit. From Detroit, I went to Seoul, Korea. No problems. But Delta doesn't fly from Seoul to Cebu. They put me on a cattle call airline called Jing Air, or Jen Air, or whatever it was. It was like flying Southwest or Spirit Airlines. You were crammed into seats that were designed for smaller people. And it was not a fun 3.5 hours in the air. With Ava Air, Singapore Air, Cathay Air, Japan Air, Korean Air, even Philippines Air, though I've heard mixed reviews about them, all of them offer great economy plus and great business class. It's a little bit more expensive, but I would prefer those. And if you're feeling extravagant, I would recommend Emirates. It's a longer flight. It's over 30 hours and it goes through Dubai, but it is the most comfortable airline you will ever fly. It's also the most expensive. Even their economy seats are comfortable. The domestic airlines in the U.S., the two major ones, American and United, are the most expensive flights to the Philippines. So I wouldn't fly those. I don't know how well they work, but I have not had good experiences flying domestic just within the United States. I don't want to go through that experience flying for 21 plus hours. So I would recommend the Asian airline companies. They will cater to your every need. They are the most polite flight attendants I've ever run across, and they are the most attentive. Also, if you're living away from a major city and you don't want to have to put up with early morning or rush hour traffic, I would probably take the chance and rent a hotel room near the airport. If you don't live near the airport that you're flying out of, in my case, I live well over 100 miles from the airport that I was flying out of O'Hare. I bought a hotel room for the night near the airport. The reason being was I didn't have to put the people driving me through rush hour traffic and sweating it, getting me to my destination on time. When you get to where you're going, I would recommend finding the lowest cost home base. Even if you're going to island hop, have a home base where you can keep a majority of your belongings and keep them safely. Quite honestly, my experience has been Airbnb is about 50% less in cost for a long-term stay, which means 2 weeks or more. It costs about half of what a hotel would cost you. The rooms are smaller, but they have cooking availability. They at least have a microwave and a air fryer. So that would allow you to cook some of your meals or reheat some of your meals that you've purchased. But have a home base so that you can store most of your belongings there and keep some things safe that you want to keep safe. And then do your island hopping. Go to Surigao, go to Bohol, go to Dumaguete. I live in Cebu, so I'm naming places you can go here. Go to Palawan, fly over there, come back, but have a home base. Yes, you're going to pay for those there. Again, use Airbnb. You can use your credit card. You can plan it out ahead of time. If you're not comfortable doing that, then I would recommend using a travel agent 3 days before you leave for the Philippines. This is very important because otherwise you're going to be stuck at the airport for about an hour. 3 days before leaving, fill out your Philippines e-travel declaration. It's on the Philippines travel website. They will send a QR code to you. You can put that on your phone. You can print it out. I would put it on my phone, it's just more convenient. It's a QR code that they scan upon your entering the country. And on that form, you're going to list anything that you're declaring. They will tell you what you can and can't bring into the country so that you won't be caught up short when you empty your pockets. Again, important documents to bring. First of all, your passport. Also, take a photograph of the first couple pages. Put that on your computer. Put that on a flash drive. Make sure that there are 6 months or more before your passport expires. I would recommend 8 months or more. Take a picture of your driver's license, both sides. Put that on the flash drive. Put that on your computer's hard drive. If you're staying in Manila, Cebu, or a large city, don't bother renting a car. It's not worth it. Taxis will get you around much faster, much cheaper, and you won't risk running afoul of the traffic police they have there. I can't tell you how many times when I was out here in November, I rented a car, I made wrong turns, and you hear that whistle blowing, and that cop just walks in front of your car and expects you to stop, pull over, and then they'll make you go and pay a fine. If you bring your driver's license with you and you have a motorcycle endorsement Even better, you can rent a scooter here, which is the easiest way to get around anywhere. If you don't have that motorcycle endorsement, get it before you leave. I've had friends recommending go to AAA and getting an international driver's license. Doesn't really mean that much here. Your regular driver's license will suffice. If you're staying here for a long time, you're going to need to get a Philippine driver's license, and that's another thing entirely. I will make a video on that when I go to get mine. But if you're going out to the provinces, you may or may not need a motorcycle endorsement to rent a motorcycle there. Other documents that you should bring and have on a thumb drive or on your laptop. Again, a list of medications and allergies, a list of recent surgeries or doctor's visits, your vaccination records, including COVID. Have your will on there, have your living will on there, have your final instructions on there, your emergency numbers. Print these out, put them in a sealed envelope, give them to your beneficiaries, give them to the consulate or the embassy, and share your instructions with your family. Or if you don't want to share them, just put them in that sealed envelope and say, if anything happens to me, open this. But do not overstay your visa. It happens. If it happens, go to the Bureau of Immigration's office. Here in Cebu, it's at the G Mall, and there's another one either in Mactan or Lapu-Lapu that you can go to. Go in there, explain your situation calmly, quietly, don't panic. You're going to pay a fine. It's going to cost you probably $100. Pay the fine and see if you can extend your visa then. If they say yes, fine. If they say no, you've got to leave. Make sure you have a ticket. Okay? But don't overstay your visa if you can help it. You can get more information at the immigration website for the Philippines. But if I can really give you a word of advice, ignore the people on the expat groups on Facebook who don't know what they're talking about. There are, in these malls right next to the Bureau of Immigration, there are lawyers and visa consultants that you can talk to. You can go in and ask them a simple question and they will advise you. If you're in trouble, they may be able to help you out. But the idiots online, I don't care how long they've been here, 99% of the information they give you is going to be wrong in some way, shape, or form, and it's just going to get you in trouble. So ignore them. Also, no matter what these idiots in these expat groups tell you, there is no such thing as a 6-month extension. I'll repeat that. There is no such thing as a 6-month extension. Anybody that posts any comments on this video about that saying yes there is, I will delete your comments. I have it from an immigration attorney and from the Bureau itself. There are no 6-month extensions. If you say you get one, I'm going to call bull crap. You've gone through a fixer who doesn't really fix anything, or you've done it illegally in some way, shape, or form, and you're going to get in trouble. Stay out of trouble, all you people that are coming here. Do things by the book, because you don't want to get arrested. You don't want to spend any time in a Filipino jail, and you don't want to be deported from the country and blacklisted. If you get blacklisted, you can never return. If you get deported for a minor infraction, they may allow you to return after a period of time. They may not. It all depends. Overall, just don't be an idiot. Respect the people, respect their culture, respect the country, and respect the laws. Be courteous and calm. Learn their language, or just You polite phrasers, a little can go a long way in making you more accepted here. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching my video. Once again, my name is Jack, the Cyberspace Cowboy, and I hope this helped you in your aim to come in and check out the Philippines and their culture for yourself. Now, again, be sure to visit the page that I do with Sheila, the Palampon Princess and Hoosier Hippie, as well as for some interesting interviews and more in-depth looks at the subject of moving to the Philippines, its culture, and enriching your social life here. Stay safe and be happy. Live your life to the fullest, everyone. Bye.